What's up, guys? In today's episode, I go over my new rock and sock stool, which is this guy right here. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy Luis Torres, and here's the funny thing, dude. In my entire life, Jesus, I'm old as f. Uh, I've never ever owned a stool to sit my butt on. Usually, it's if I'm sitting on a bed, sitting on one of my combos, standing up, dude, for years, my entire life. And when I tried the Mesa Badlander, which is funny, I sat down, and of course, whenever I go into Parkway Music in upstate New York, I will usually sit down on the stool that's in there. So after I tried out the Badlander, I went to one of the guys that works there, Mike, and I'm like, dude, do you guys have stools to sit on? And he's like, yeah. So he shared one with me, which was a Fender. Another one was a Charvel. But to me, that's not really me. So I was, he's like, hey, well, if you find one, we can order it for you. And I was like, okay. And, I then started for the first time, I guess just decided that maybe that's something I should really look into, because what I find myself doing is when I'm at a music store and I'm sitting down on one of their stools, it's just ridiculously comfortable, but comfortable that I don't even think about it. And decided, let me look into these stools and see if there's anything better that's out there. So there is Jackson, there's all these other companies that make them, but they're usually style-wise, they almost, they're all kind of in the same ballpark, right? But to me, they almost look like cheap bar stools. And, I'm just like, do I want to look like I'm at a bar sitting on a Jackson stool? And I went online, went to different websites, and found one on Sweetwater, and then decided to do some research on it and rave reviews. So they actually had a few different models, where one was the same old round bar stool kind of seat or stool. And then there was one that was a saddle, like a horse saddle. And I remember thinking, that has to be ridiculously comfortable. And did some research on that specific model. That was the saddle seat. And lo and behold, went ahead, jumped on all the reviews. I was like, that's going to be the one I get. And I think it arrived 2 days later from Sweetwater, of course, with my awesome package of candy, and took it out of the box and was just floored at the construction of the seat, at the quality of the seat. This thing, aside from, and you just can't tell in the camera with me looking at it, but dude, you can fit your fat butt on this thing. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, if you're a heavier set guy, like, dude, this thing is so wide. I was just like, I have a little butt. But this, the thickness, it's 4 inches all around. It kind of has its little contours over here, but literally, you sit down and you just chill. You literally just, grab your guitar strings and here's the crazy part. is if you usually sit on a bed, and listen, it's not gonna be like a bed, right? But it's mattress like. And that's probably the closest, easiest, best description that I can possibly come up with, where, I feel like all of these other ones just have compressed cushions where I could easily see, if you're sitting down for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, like, dude, that's going to hurt your romp at some point. And that's not what I wanted because I have a bony butt. So the problem that I run into with sitting on a combo is that eventually it hurts. It's just like, I need something else to sit on. So I will, I'll even take like a pillow and I'll just sit on that if I'm on my combo. But usually for the most part, I stand up. And here's the, if you're at rehearsal, then it is what it is. You're going to be standing up the whole time. That's what I'm used to. That's what everyone else is used to. But if you're just home jamming, trying to figure out new riffs, trying to piece riffs together, just going through the whole gamut of trying to put a song through your mind in as far as structuring a song, especially if you're not recording it and then trying to piece it in post. But if you're just jamming, just sitting down, like, dude, there's one thing that I realized is since I've gotten it, I've actually been practicing more without even realizing, right? Does that make sense? Where I sit down and I grab one guitar, and the other day I was just figuring, all right, well, let me use my LTD because I just got that, and then wanted to compare it to one of my ESP M2 customs, and then decided to grab my Kiesel, and I'm literally just jamming, just riffing away, just coming up with different things, and just noodling as I'm going along, and then realize, like, dude, I was sitting down for like 50 minutes. My butt didn't hurt. I found myself, do I dare say, I can't say playing better, but I found myself thinking of other songs that I've recently been listening to and trying to mimic that kind of progression, and didn't even realize, like, dude, I've just been sitting down playing for longer than I normally do at any given time. Because if I'm just standing up, like, dude, for the most part, I'm just trying to find my tone and just randomly, okay, that sounds cool. And then I'll just put it away and I'm like, gotta go. But I found myself just sitting down and spending a little more time just playing. And I feel like that's kind of everything, right? Is, if you find something that makes you comfortable, whether that's a guitar or a guitar strap, like all of those things psychologically help you in playing better, being much more creative, just because you're not thinking my guitar strap hurts, my butt hurts because I'm sitting on a combo, on a cabinet, or standing. Like, that gets uncomfortable after a while, dude. You can walk around or stand and just play for a while, and then that just gets boring as F. And not that sitting down doesn't, but at least I'm comfortable, and that's kind of everything. So in the description below, click on it. I'll put a link directly to this seat. That's just my interpretation, just like my interpretation of the Mesa Badlander. It's something that you're going to have to see aesthetically which stool you like, which one best represents you. Again, the first ones that I was considering were a Fender and a Charvel, and I'm like, nah. Then they showed me a Jackson, and I'm like, I'm really more of an ESP guy, although I have a ton of Jacksons hanging up on one wall, and settled on that one, and I'm super happy. They have a bunch of different heights for it. This one is comfortable, and I can literally just put one leg down and I'm on the I'm already stepping on the floor. But if when I play, I always want to have at least one leg higher. So of course it has the dual rails, so I always put my one leg or my 1 foot on this top rail, and now I am up here with 1 foot down and the other. All right. So guys, if you have never ever owned a guitar stool, You are missing out, just like I just realized for all these years. Don't even know why, dude. Never even thought about it. But yeah, I mean, if you get around to it and you think about it, whenever you go to a guitar shop to try something out, you're usually sitting on one. And trust that coming from a guy that's never owned one to just getting one in the mail the other day, it's night and day. Like I don't, dude. It's like having a bunch of guitars and never having strings on them. And someone's like, here's a bunch of strings, enjoy. And I'm like, why have I, where have I been that I've missed this? So guys, again, in the description, I will put a link to this exact seat or stool over at the Sweetwater website. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And as usual, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.